name's Andy Dorsey, and yours is probably not. I'm from the Chicago suburbs in the American Midwest, but moved to Berlin, Germany in 2016, where I'm now working my way through American branded products on sale over here so that you don't have to. Today we'll be taking a look at pizza stuffed crust, or rather two varieties thereof. Before we get to the individual pizzas though, maybe we'll take a moment to discuss this rather strange postposing of the adjectives. So what does that mean? Well, when I, as a native English speaker, look at this packaging, I see pizza stuffed crust. This makes me think of crust that has been stuffed with pizza, but that's not what they mean stuffed crust pizza. So how do we get to this strange point? Well, if you speak a Romance language, you might be familiar with this idea of postpositive adjectives. So the adjective comes after the noun to which it refers. It is quite common in Romance languages, but much less so in Germanic languages. So in English and German, we usually put the adjective in front of the noun. We say the disgusting meal. We say the unpleasant food. We don't say the food unpleasant. I mean, you could, it would be rather poetic, I suppose, and we do sometimes do this. We say eggs benedict, we say spaghetti bolognese, we say court martial. These, though, are usually loan words, or words where we're trying to be a little bit fancy. And I think that's how we end up with this postposing of adjectives in German, especially for pizza for some reason. So we've got pizza stuffed crust, we've already had pizza chocolate cookie, and also, for instance, Hawaiian pizza here is not known as Hawaiianische Pizza, but rather as Pizza Hawaii. So for some reason in Germany, with pizza, the adjectives come afterwards. With that out of the way, we have this variety here, pizza stuffed crust salami. This I found at Netto. You can see it's rather subdued in its Americanness. Yes, it is red, white, and blue. It's written in English, or a near approximation thereof. But the American elements are sort of limited to this part. There are only 2 stars, for instance. Here it says, super lecker, very tasty, with cheese in the crust. And then they put an emoticon. I don't know why, but for some reason this emoticon just disturbs me. I mean, I don't expect a great deal of professionalism from my pizza packaging. It can be as informal as it wants, but an emoticon? I don't want to be thinking about this little winky face while I'm eating the cheese in the crust. It just gives me a bad vibe. Now, the other one we've got here is sold by Penny as part of its Mike Mitchell's line of pseudo-American products. And this one is Tex-Mex style, promises to be extra spicy. The disturbing part here, because they all have to have a disturbing part, is that it says it has in its crust cheese and mozzarella. That's like if you're eating a sausage and it says, this is made with beef and meat. What kind of meat? What kind of cheese? I don't know. It doesn't say on the back either, it just says cheese, and that's listed separately from the mozzarella. So, mystery cheese, wonderful. Both of these are made by Freiberger, which is a frozen pizza company based here in Berlin. They have a couple of factories around Europe, but there's also one on the north side of Berlin, so quite possibly these pizzas were made not too far from where I live. Even though they're sold by different supermarket chains under different labels, made by the same company, so we'll see how similar they are or not. As for the concept, this is in fact an authentic American pizza style. Stuffed crust pizza was invented by Pizza Hut in 1995. So there is some clear evidence for once, yes indeed, this is American style pizza. That said, Pizza Hut is active all around the world. There are also Pizza Huts here in Germany. It leads to a little bit of confusion because Hut is the German word for hat. So the first time I realized just how garbled my own mind had become by living in 2 different cultures was when I was walking down the street. I saw a sign for Pizza Hut and I thought, Pizza Hut, that does in fact look like a little red hat for a pizza. Now I was going to make fun of the Tex-Mex pizza here, because, I mean, theoretically you could make a Tex-Mex pizza, but I've never heard of it being done, I've never eaten one, I'm not an expert on pizzas, so it's possible. But still it seemed like a kind of strange idea to me, until I discovered that, in fact, Pizza Hut UK, Pizza Hut Europe, and Pizza Hut New Zealand are coming out with a Mexican line of pizzas pretty soon for a limited time. One of these is known as the Filthy Steak Fajita Pizza, which, okay, that is a name I guess you could choose for a pizza. Doesn't sound especially appetizing to me, but to each his own. And there is also a little bit of room for revenge here, because I discovered that for a while Pizza Hut in Japan was selling a German King pizza, which was also a stuffed crust pizza. In the crust though, there was not just cheese, but also sausage and bacon. So, I mean, I guess if you're Pizza Hut, you have to keep coming up with strange new creations so that people will keep coming back to try the new stuff. If people like it, fine, I don't care. I'm not especially excited about having to try these pizzas, but we'll see how it goes. As always, before we pop these in the oven, we'll take a look. So here is the salami pizza. Yeah, I guess that's probably as close as you're going to get to pepperoni here in Europe. Perhaps a little bit interesting is the fact that they've also put onions on it. You don't usually eat onions with pepperoni, I don't think, but I like onions on pizza too, so fine. The other one, the Tex-Mex pizza here, you can see has quite a high concentration of bell peppers, but only in this part of the pizza. And it's got ground beef on here as well. Neither of these looks especially terrible to start with. Who knows, we might get lucky this time. So, we've got our two pizzas here. This is pretty decent, the salami one. I'm excited perhaps a bit. The Tex-Mex one, maybe less so, but maybe because I'm not so much of a spicy Tex-Mex guy, but we'll see. Okay, here goes with salami. Take a little bitty piece. Okay, tastes like a pizza. Let's try the crust though. You can see there's not really all that much cheese inside, but we'll take a bite. Okay, that's not bad. I would eat that. I've had worse pizzas than this, worse stuffed crust in the US. Now we'll try our friend, the Tex-Mex pizza. Oh, it's falling apart a little bit. Also not too bad, but it's got some delayed action spiciness on it. The cheese, ooh. Yeah, this cheese is not especially appetizing. Or maybe it's the mozzarella. It's not, who knows. It's like they mixed potatoes in with it or something. I don't know. Mashed potato, cheese, mozzarella. That's a strange, I don't know, the texture. And it's sweet. It's strange. Tastes like mashed potatoes. Is there a German equivalent? Well, if you're a regular viewer of this channel, you know that I've already used up my German pizza equivalent, Flammkuchen. So instead I'm going to use this time to introduce you to the fascinating world of ChefKoch. This is a big recipe website here in Germany where people come up with their own recipes for food which they think sounds good and then upload them. And other people can comment if they've made the food or not, what they thought about it, if they want to make it. There's also a complimentary website called Worst of ChefKoch. This is where someone with a very literary sensibility goes through the most unpleasant entries on ChefKoch and berates them in an amusing manner. If you ever want to learn German, this is a good motivation, I would say. This site is rather funny. So I did my best to try to find the absolute most German and most disgusting looking pizza which they have on offer, and I think that has to be this one here. This is Hackfleisch-Sauerkraut-Pizza. So ground meat sauerkraut pizza. I don't think you really need to say more than the fact that the very first step of the instructions is soak the buns in the beer. Enough said. How about you? You know, Pizza Hut offers these strange types of stuffed crust pizza, sometimes only for a limited amount of time. So, have you ever had a strange stuffed crust pizza experience? Let me know in the comments down below. And now perhaps you know a little bit more about American food in Germany.